we gon' get life you ain't never had. Freedom! Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know. Freedom! Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true. Freedom! When you come under the blood, tell me, are you free? Are you really at liberty? Do you really truly have peace? Or are you in denial? Living in the seat underneath all them fake smiles. Wonder why you keep having trials. Drowning in your debt as it piles. Wonder where my God at? I've been praying, but for some reason things ain't changing. So you gotta ask yourself, is that freedom? Wondering if he gon' come when you really need him? If it's a question, then you ain't been free. I suggest you pick the book up and read. I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. I rebuke the devil who weakens me. See, the law just gives you the keys. It's your faith that truly sets you free. Freedom! Through Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had. Freedom! Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know. Freedom! Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true. Freedom! When you come under the blood. Now when I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. When I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now when I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. When I say hallelujah, I'll say yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now when I say all, y'all say praises, all praises, all praises. When I say all, y'all say praises, all praises, all praises. Now when I say all, y'all say praises, all praises, all praises. When I say all, y'all say praises, all praises, all praises.
Yeshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed.
Only through the Son we free. That's why we pray without ceasing, constantly. That's how you get your mind right. Trust that. And in the midst of all the chaos, he gon' have your back. He gon' send a comforter just like he said he would. You just profess it out your mouth and don't have a doubt. We gotta walk like him if we wanna be free. Get rid of pride and believe in Messiah, you'll see. Freedom! Through Christ is the only way we gon' get life you ain't never had. Freedom! Unless you in them scripts daily reading, trying to pay off that price, I don't think they know. Freedom! Come from above in the name of his one and only son. Now that's true. Freedom! When you come under the blood.
All right, family, we're gonna stand and face Jerusalem, which is that way. We're gonna pray in. We read from Psalms 105. Oh, give thanks unto Yahweh. Call upon his name and make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him. Yes, sir. Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. Yes, sir. Seek the Elohim and his strength. Seek his face forevermore. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done. Yes, sir. His wonders and his judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham, his servants, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. He is our power. Yes, his judgments are in all the earth. Yes. He hath remembered his covenant forevermore, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, yes, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I read to you Psalm 105 verses 1 through 10. May the Most High add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his most holy word.
Hallelujah. Once again, we give our praise to Elohim, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for another wonderful holy Shabbat.
Yes, sir.
And his holy feast day, which we will be attending to tomorrow, right?
That's right.
We're going to cover the lesson. We usually do these type lessons on the holy feast day, which we can say high days, but it's still a Shabbat, right? And we're going to show you that. But I want to thank the Most High for allowing everybody, especially those who've driven out of town, who come a long ways to be in fellowship with us. Good to see everybody here. giving all praise, and also put a hedge protection around everyone as we return back home. I just want to put that out. But we're going to just jump right on into the lesson. We're going to deal with the Pentecost, Feast of Weeks, Firstfruits. And that's a short lesson because this is one of the feast days that was taken from us and been replaced by the heathen holidays, folly days, like we used to like to call it. And we just trying to get our heritage, because we are the people of the book. We are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, aka house of Judah, the full tribe, you might hear some of us say, right? But that's a whole nother lesson, breaking down everybody in the tribe. But we're going to stick to the lesson at hand, Pentecost, the Feast of Weeks. So we're going to start this off in Leviticus, where we can get all our holy feast days from. And these are the feasts that a lot of people tell you that they've been done away with. They always telling us that we can't keep the laws. We can't keep the Shabbat. But they tell us that, but they never tell the people who call themselves Jews, which are not, but they are of the synagogue of Satan. They never tell them that they can't keep it.
Right.
Why they always focus on us and telling us that we can't keep these days or keep the holy Shabbat or keep the commandments? Because they know if we start back keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and our holy feast days, that their kingdom is coming to an end. We're going to show you in this lesson. That's what all of these holy feast days is telling you, the whole, from the beginning of the world to the end, right? So let's get into it. Leviticus, I'm going to share my screen. Shabbat shalom for those who just coming in. Be mindful, everyone, to make sure that you put your phones on silence while we go through a few of these scripts. And let's get us some spiritual understanding, family. We're going to start this off in Leviticus. You can find the holy feast days in Leviticus and several other chapters we're going to look at. And this is what the Most High instructed Moses to give to the people, right? Because when we do a holy feast day, we can't do it any way we want to, right? When he give you instruction, I want you to do it exactly how I want you to do it. And I want you to celebrate it a certain way, because you just can't come, anybody just can't show up.
Come on now.
Y'all, let's get this clear. And anybody just can't show up at this holy feast day, because in another lesson we'll show you somebody showed up at the wedding that's supposed to be there, and he called them friend while you come in here with your garment spotted. You don't belong here. So let's look at it. Leviticus 23rd chapter, we are going to read verses 1 through 23. And the reason I'm going from the beginning, because we have already fulfilled, according to, we have done what we're supposed to do as far as Passover and unleavened bread. Leviticus 23rd chapter, verse 1, what did it say?
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, even these are my feasts. He gave these feast days to Israel and nobody else. And that's who he's speaking to right here. He didn't say go and speak to all nations. He said go speak to the children of Israel. Go ahead. 6 days shall work be done. Yes, sir. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. Hey, even the 7th day. Today is what? It's part of the feast days, right? That's right, bro. Go ahead and read it. And holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Yahweh in all your dwellings. Go ahead. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season. In the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Lord's Passover. Hey, we've done that. We obeyed the laws, the ordinances, and we obeyed that. Go ahead and read, my brother. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahweh. We fulfilled that. Hallelujah. Go ahead. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. Yes, sir. In the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. Y'all see the specific instructions he giving? We got to follow that verbatim, right? That's right, brother. Okay, go ahead. But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. 7 days. And the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
That's servile work, basically. You know how you go to your job and get paid? He said, don't do no servile work on those days. Because these are our feast days. They take off, hey, do they go to work on Christmas? What about Thanksgiving? They don't do none of what about the 4th of July?
Yeah.
They off on those days, right? So we could be off on these days. Go ahead and read, brother. What verse?
We at verse 9.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when you be come into the land which I give unto you, and reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest.
Okay, so now he blessing them with some land, right? So when you go into this land, the first fruits coming out of that land belong to me, right? But go ahead and read, brother. We're going to deal with that first fruits.
And ye shall wave the sheaf before your house to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. And you shall offer that day, when you wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto your house.
Go ahead.
The meat offering thereof shall be 2 tenth deals of fine flour, mingled with oil.
Oh, sound like some frying something to me.
An offering made by fire unto your house for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn, nor green ears until the self-same day that ye have brought the offering unto your power. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
So you can't touch none of that until you do what? Come on, family. There you go. Go ahead and read verse what?
Read verse 15.
Go ahead.
And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day he brought the sheaf of the wave offering, even 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days. And you shall serve a new meat offering unto your house.
Because we done the calculation, right, my brother?
That's right, my brother.
And then we know that tomorrow after the Sabbath, which is the next day gonna be the 50th day. So that's why we're gonna have the Pentecost, basically mean 50, right? But go ahead and read.
And you shall bring out of your habitation 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. And you shall offer with bread, 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, 1 young bullock and 2 rams, and they shall be for a burnt offering unto your house. With their meat offering and their drink offering, even an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto your house. Then you shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of the peace offering.
Now, Abner, why are you having this brother read all of this? It's going to make sense when we get over to the New Testament, okay? Because a lot of instruction they forget. But see, all this stuff pointed to Messiah, right?
That's right.
But go ahead and read. We're going to show it to you. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Yes, sir.
And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before your house. With the 2 lambs, they shall be holy unto the Lord for the priest.
For the who?
For the priest.
Okay, go ahead.
And you shall proclaim on the self-same day that it may be an holy convocation unto you. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Yes, sir. Now that's dealing with the first fruits, right? But go ahead and read that 22. What did it say?
And when ye reap the harvest of your land.
Because we know that Pentecost and the end gathering is tied together. But we're going to show it to you. Go ahead.
And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor. Now
he told them that when you go out there, you got your field out there, right? Don't touch them corners. You get anything in between it, but don't touch the corners, them 4 corners, right? I was reading that and some came to mind. Is not Israel scattered to the 4 corners of the earth?
That's right.
But we're going to tie this thing in. Go ahead and read, brother.
Thou shalt lead them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am Yahweh, your power.
Okay. Now let's go into Exodus, because when I was reading about that field and leave no four corners, I said, man, we scattered to the four corners, right? But somebody got to reap the harvest, right? But let's go into Exodus. Let's look at it a little bit more. Exodus, the 23rd chapter. We're gonna read a couple of verses in there. We're just doing a little groundwork right here, and then we're gonna get into it. Man, what the world? Come on, what you got, bro? 14 through 17. Man, what these jokers trying to do, man? Okay, there we go. Let's go to Exodus, 23rd chapter. We're gonna pick it up at verse 14. Exodus, 23rd chapter, verse 14 through 17. What did it say, my brother?
3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed in the month Abib. For in it thou camest from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty.
None shall appear what?
None shall appear before me empty.
Go ahead. Now, keep in mind, he said that you shouldn't appear empty. Go ahead and read. We're going to hit it again. Go ahead.
And the feast of harvest of the first fruits of thy labor, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field.
Now, what did he say, man? He said that he sent out laborers to go out there and work the fields, right?
That's right.
So you got to go out there and sow something. So when you go out there and do this work, spiritually speaking, when you go out here and sow this word and stuff, it got to grow somewhere, right?
That's right.
But go ahead and read. We're tied in. Go ahead.
Verse 17. 3 times in a year, all thy males shall appear before your house.
Not just a few of them.
All thy males.
All the males, all men got to appear 3 times in a year at these feasts. Go ahead. That was it. Okay. Let's go now to let's go into the 34th chapter. Let's go to chapter 34, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 22. That we know that at all these feasts that he has set up, 3 times a year, all males have to appear before. Why is that? Why are they trying to cut us off from even keeping our holy feast days? They're trying to they took the Shabbat from us. First of all, they didn't do anything, to be honest with you. Our forefathers did this to us. So let's stop blaming other nations. The Most High used the other nations to whip our head because our forefathers wanted to be in those other nations.
That's right.
Just like today. You tell them that we are the Israelites, they say, no, we heathen Gentiles. And I don't care how many book, chapter, verse, you can show them artifacts, you can give them all the information, and they still not going to believe. Why? Because they love these nations. They love the way these nations treat us to the 4 corners of this earth. They can't get enough of it. And the first thing that come out of the mouth, we're going to forgive them. But you can't forgive your own kinfolk. They are full of Hellenized. But go ahead and read, brother, verse chapter 34, and we're going to read 22 through 27. What the book say? And
thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of the first fruits of the wheat harvest.
Yes, sir.
The feast of ingathering at the year's end.
Now, keep this in mind right here. We dealing with the first fruits. The Israelite nation is the first fruit of all nations. Keep that in mind. And we're going to deal with the end gathering because you know what? It might be a festival time, but I'm going to tell you another thing too. This end gathering is something else. We're going to look at it. Go ahead and read. It's not going to be pretty. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Ain't going to be no day to be feasting either. But the Most High call it a feast. But somebody else going to be feasting on that day. But go ahead and read.
Right. Verse 23. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before Yahweh thy power, the power of Israel.
Go ahead.
For I will cast out the nations before thee.
He gonna do what?
For I will cast out the nations before thee,
and
enlarge thy border. Neither shall any man desire thy land, when thou shalt go up to appear before Yahweh thy power thrice in a year.
Y'all hear, when you being obedient, how he would drive other nations out from among us. So that lets you know we shouldn't be dealing with no other nations anyway, right? If you're going to drive them away, that's what he said, right? Because we can show you all through the book. He tell you don't make no covenant with no other nation people. Y'all belong to me. That's why he had to come down in Egypt and separate them from the Egyptians. That's right. A lot of them didn't want to leave Egypt. But he, at the end of the end game, I'm going to put it that way, those who belong to him made it on over there. And everybody else belonged on the other side. He got them in the wilderness. Am I lying?
Nope.
Okay, then. Go ahead and read, brother. What verse?
That was at verse 25. That's right.
Verse 25?
Yeah, is that where you want me to go?
Yeah, we're going to read down to 27.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven.
Right.
I'm going to read that again.
Yes, sir.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven.
We know leaven represents sin, right? But go ahead and read. You want to expound on that, my brother?
So here we are at the feast.
Mm-hmm.
And you offering up a sacrifice. And you got current sins on your jacket, and you know you ain't wholeheartedly in this thing. I won't be throwing my hands up. Because he don't make idle threats. Don't offer a sacrifice and you know you ain't forgave your brother, forgave your sister, and you ain't all the way in this thing, because it ain't gonna be accepted. It's gonna get you in trouble.
Right.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven. Neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of Passover be left until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. And the Lord said unto Moshe, write these words, for after the tenor of these words have I made my covenant with thee and with Israel.
Hold a minute right there. Jokers always tell you that man wrote the Bible, right? Is he not telling Moses, who's a man, to write these words down? Right. And he told her, I made a covenant with you, Moses, and Israel. Where's everybody else? This is the feast. These are our feast days. That's one thing we got to get into our heart right here, right? Let's move a little further, y'all. Let's go into Deuteronomy 16. Because we are people that you got to constantly say it over and over and over and over. Y'all know how it goes, because you say the same old thing with your children. You say the same old thing if you're in some supervisor or management, you know you're saying the same stuff over and over and over, right? We are the same people that you got to constantly say things over and over. It's repeated all through the book. That's right. So apparently we kind of hard-headed, stiff-necked people. That's right. Because I know I got to be told some stuff over and over, you know, by the Spirit, you know, don't say that. Deuteronomy 16 verses 9 through 17. We still dealing with the ordinances, right? And then we're going to get into it. Go ahead, my brother.
7 weeks shall thou number unto thee. Begin to number 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the colt. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto Yahweh thy power, with a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as Yahweh thy power has blessed thee.
This ain't nothing about force. You got to have a free what? Willing. You have a free will mind. The Most High ain't making you do absolutely nothing. Nope. You got to want to do this thing. Just like when he brought them out of Egypt, all the spoils they had, and when it was time for him to build a tabernacle, he said, let them of a willing heart bring these things to you. This thing's a free will. You got to do this. You got to want to do it. And quiet as kept, a lot of people don't want to do it. Look at the room.
That's it, bro.
Church gonna be filled tomorrow. Well, you know, Sunday school, they're gonna be filled tomorrow because you know why? Because they could be like other nations. They could do anything they want to. Yeah. But when you serve the God of Israel, he got specific instructions as we read how he wants things done. I can't do what I want to do like I used to do. But go ahead, because it costs me. But go ahead and read.
Verse 11.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt rejoice before Yahweh thy power. Thou and thy son and thy daughter, thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place where Yahweh thy power has chosen to place his name there.
Hold on for a minute. Now, I know there's no but one nation he chose, he put his name on.
That's it.
Expound on that, my brother.
So your name is Israel. So no matter where you go, no matter where you are, no matter what state you may find yourself in, you still Israel. So how can you be of another nation and your name ain't Israel and he didn't choose to place his name upon you? How can you celebrate the holy feast day? Now, to those who know they Israel and still ain't operating in the spirit, you still ain't Israel. Because he said they are not all Israel that are of Israel. They are not all the children of Yah who are the seed of Abraham. So even though you physical Israel, if you ain't got his name placed here, then guess what? You really ain't supposed to be here either.
But check this out. This is how they did it. And the reason why they trying their best to keep us from hearing this word and keeping us from identifying ourselves. Let's go right quick. Let's go to Psalms 83rd chapter Psalm. Let's go to Psalm 83. I just want to show you this. See, if you will call yourself or go to school or go to church or somewhere, I ask you, okay, what do you go to church for?
Right.
To hear, everybody say God, Lord, Jesus, and all that. All sound all good, right? Yeshua, whatever name they choose to use, right?
Right.
But my question is, what is your pastor teaching you? Right. God love everybody, for real. You got to read that. If God love everybody, why has he got a lake of fire he gonna throw folks in?
That's right.
Along with Satan, because we can read that in the book, right?
That's right.
But listen to our enemies, because we can go read Deuteronomy 28 chapter, right? And he said he gonna, and also Leviticus 26, he said he gonna go and put us in our enemy's land, right? This is what our enemy came together. Not only, I'm talking about all nations. This is what they came up with. Psalm 83, and read verses 3 and 4, my brother.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Now, who is this they? We can say right now, real time, the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
That's who all had a hand in this 70 AD. We're going to take a closer look at that in the future because Romans wasn't the only one down there in Jerusalem. That's why he said that I'm going to call all y'all back up. Mm-hmm. Just like I did Egypt. I'll whoop Egypt, and it's my time to whoop all the nations to the four corners of this earth, right? What did they come up with?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Who are the hidden ones? You, all of us? Because don't nobody know who we are. I'm talking about within our own people. Them other nations know who we are. Some of them, that's why some of them be so nice to you, because they know who we are. Mm-hmm. Hell, if the president over there in Russia know who we are, he shows the folks every day. Every time he take a picture, you know, when he get into religion, he always taking pictures right behind the scene. And all of them so-called, they got the white ones over here, but he got the real deal over here.
Right.
And quiet as kept. And Pope, do he not bow down to
a black Madonna and black Jesus every day?
And they look just like us. But for some reason, our people still can't accept it. But go ahead and read.
Verse 4.
What they say.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Man, don't nobody call nobody Israel but us. They call them Israelis, Jewish, and whatever other names they got on.
Yeah.
But do they call us Israel? No. But this was the ones formerly known as the United Nations. They came up with this. But he said, besides, hey, the father said he gonna sit up there and laugh at them. He gonna have them in derision. In other words, I'm gonna have them confounded, just like I had them jokers down at the top of Babel. But let's go a little farther. I just want to throw that in for a little flavor. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Where we left off?
We at verse 12, I think.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah, we at verse 12.
All right. Let's
back
go.
in Deuteronomy 16th chapter, verse 12.
Yes, sir. When you get it, go ahead, my brother.
All right. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt. And thou shalt observe and do these statutes.
Yes, sir.
Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast. And thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates.
Now he's talking to Israel, and he said that thou shalt rejoice. In other words, we're supposed to have a good time, right?
That's right, bro.
Okay, go ahead and read.
Verse 15.
Yes, sir.
7 days thou shalt keep a solemn feast unto Yahweh thy power in the place where Yahweh shall choose.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase and in all thy works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in the year shall all males appear before Yahweh thy power in the place which he shall choose.
Now this third time we read that now.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead and read.
In the feast of unleavened bread.
Yeah.
In the feast of weeks of Pentecost.
Yes, sir.
In the feast of tabernacle. They shall not appear before Yahweh empty. Every man shall give as he is able according to the blessing of Yahweh thy power, which he has given thee.
All right, now let's get into it. Let's go into 1 Corinthians. We just wanted to touch in on some of the ordinances, the reason why we do what we do.
That's right.
And the reason how we do it, and then why y'all do this and why y'all do that, because we got our instructions from right here, right? Now let's go into 1 Corinthians, and let's look at the first fruits of the dead, because this all ties into it, right?
That's right.
Because we know Christ, aka Jesus, that the Bible speak of. Some brothers call him Yeshua, and a whole lot of other names, right? But it's all good because we know what he came to do, right?
That's right.
1 Corinthians 15, we'll read verses 1 through 8, and we're going to do a little skipping. We're dealing with Hamashiach. He's the first fruits. Go ahead and read from the dead. This is Christ's resurrection. Go ahead, brother.
Moreover, brother, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep it in memory, what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. For I have delivered unto you the first of all that which I also received, how Christ died for our sins according to the scripture.
Now, let me just, for those who don't know, this is Paul talking to the church at Corinth, and these are the ones was in the diaspora under the house of Israel.
That's right.
That the Assyrians took off, and then, you know, of course, they had other governments to come in over them as well. But they are in the same situation that we're in, right? So there's nothing new under the sun. A lot of time we read Deuteronomy 28 and think it is, you know, this is the only thing that affects us. No, this been on the tape. That's right. But I just wanted to show y'all that Paul talking to the Corinthians. Go ahead and read.
Verse 4. And that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures.
Right.
And that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. And after that, he was seen above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present. But some are fallen asleep. And after that, he was seen of James, then of all the apostles. And the last, and the last of all, he was seen of me also, as of one born out of due time.
Now let's get down to verse 12.
All right.
Let's get down to verse 12 through 23. What does it say?
Now, if Hamashiach be preached that he rose from the dead, how some say among you that there is no resurrection of the dead?
Because some people don't believe it to this day. Y'all know that? They think that, hey, man, I'm going to live my life. I'm a part and I'm going to do my thing, and this is it. Y'all ain't going to see me anymore. But go ahead and read, brother.
But if there be no resurrection of the dead, then is Christ not risen? And if Hamashiach be not risen, then is our preaching in vain, and your faith is also vain? Yea, and we are found false witnesses of Yah, because we have testified of Yah, that he raised up Hamashiach, whom he raised not up, if so be that the dead rise not.
So it's just like a lot of people, you know, they'll say, well, I would say preachers. We've been taught that, once you die and you're going to, your body going to go on the ground, which is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to float off to heaven and get your wings.
Yeah, right.
And how folks be at the, how you go to the funeral, and that's why I go to the funeral, because I know they're lying. See, your loved one up there just smiling down. Everybody ain't up there smiling. But go ahead. Go ahead and read, brother.
Excuse me, brother.
Go ahead and read it.
Verse 16.
What did it say?
For if the dead rise not, then is not Christ raised.
Mm-hmm.
And if Christ be not raised, your faith is vain. Ye are yet in your sin.
Mm-hmm.
Then they also which are fallen asleep in Hamashiach are perished.
Mm-hmm.
If in this life only we have hope in Christ, we are all of all men most miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept.
Now he the one, Hamashiach's the only one that came out of his grave and lived forever to this day. Yeah, Lazarus he called him up, but Lazarus was back in the ground, right?
That's it.
But Messiah is at the right hand of the Father. He showed us the resurrection, what's going to happen. He is the first fruit of all from our nation, right? Let's go look at a little farther, y'all. Let's go to John. Let's go to John chapter 20. John chapter 20. And we're going to read verses 1 through 17. John chapter 20. Let me stop all that talking.
No, you good, bro.
When you get it, brother, go ahead.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
Uh-huh.
Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter, and to the other disciple whom Yeshua loved, and said unto them,
Mm-hmm.
They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre,
Mm-hmm.
and we know not where they have laid him.
Go ahead.
Cephas therefore went forward, and the other disciple, and came to the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
So they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter, and came first to the sepulchre. And he stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in.
Mm-hmm.
And coming Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeing the linen clothes lie, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself.
Now we read about Yeshua. Now, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, he was crucified, he was buried. And what's going on right here? Think about what's going on right here. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Then went in also the other disciple which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
Uh-huh.
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home.
Now, hold on for a minute. Now, he just gave us a prime example of what's going to happen when you rise out of that grave. Every funeral I went to, even though someone had passed, 7-8 days later, they still sitting in that box, right? But Messiah was in there 3 days, right? And 3 nights. He's showing you when you die or when you being resurrected, your body, all of you is coming out of there.
That's right.
Let's look at, we're going to look at it. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 11.
What did it say?
But Mary stood without the sepulchre, weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre.
Like he going to pop up. You know what I'm saying? You already know he ain't in there, but you're going to look again, right? Go ahead and read, brother.
And seeing 2 angels in white sitting, in one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yeshua had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She said unto them, Because they have taken away my master, and I know not where they have laid him.
Mm-hmm.
And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yeshua standing, and knew not that it was Yeshua.
Oh, she knew it was him before he went in that grave, right?
That's right.
Why she didn't recognize him then?
Glorified body.
He got a glorified body. We're going to look at it. Go ahead and read, brother.
Yeshua said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? She supposed him to be the gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou hast borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away. Yeshua said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master.
Go ahead.
Yeshua said unto her, Touch me not, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my power and your power.
Now, Messiah is the first fruit for the dead, right?
That's right, bro.
Why she couldn't touch Messiah?
Come on, brother.
Because just like we read in the ordinance, he told you don't touch anything before it been offered up to me, right? She couldn't touch him because she would have defiled the offering.
That's right.
He was the first fruit. You know, man died. He brought death on the table, right? So man had to come and put life back on the table, right? And the only one could do it was Messiah. That's why he said, don't touch me, because I got to be offered up for my Father. Because what if she touched him?
Defiled the offering.
You would have defiled the whole offering. Because flesh and blood can't what? It can't go up there. That's the whole point. Go ahead and read, bro. What verse?
We in verse 18.
Go ahead and read it.
Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Master, and that he had spoken these things unto her.
Go ahead.
Then the same day at eve, being the first day of the week. I'm going to read that one more time. Then the same day at eve, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Yahudim, the Jews, came in Yeshua and stood in the midst and said unto them, Peace be unto you.
Hold on for a minute. You mean to tell me he walked up on them when the doors were closed?
Yes, sir.
So when you get your spiritual body, you do all them little funny things, right?
Yeah.
Boy, I wish I had. But
You creep up on it with it.
man, I creep up on it. Catch one of them. You know, it could be anybody. Ain't got to be no he. It could be any joker doing wrong.
Yeah.
Slap him back in here. Let up. We'll go ahead and read. But see, here's the thing too. We're gonna read something that you can't hurt a spiritual body, right? We're gonna read about this. Ain't gonna be a good fair fight in the end gathering. Go ahead and read, brother. What
verse 20?
Go ahead.
And when he had said, and when he had so said, he showed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the Master. Then said Yeshua to them again, Peace be unto you. As my Father, my Abba, has sent me, even so send I you. And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said unto them, Receive ye the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh.
Yes. Look, and that's when he opened their understanding when he left, because he told them, man, if I don't go, the Ruach can't come to you.
That's right, bro.
But go ahead. We finished that, brother?
We have 23.
Go ahead and read that 23.
Whosoever sins ye remit, they are remitted unto them. How? And whosoever sins ye retain, they are retained.
Okay, that's enough. I think we went a little too far on that one. We was sounding good, though.
Yeah.
First Thessalonians chapter 4. Because he was talking about, we still dealing with this resurrection of first fruit, right? But hold that spot right here.
All right.
Before we go there, let's read something about, because we know that Messiah is the first fruit from the dead, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 20. We're going to hit 2 or 3 verses right there, and we're going to keep it moving. Revelation chapter 20. Man, why is this sucker? Revelation chapter 20. Man, you see that? It won't let me, there we go.
There you go.
I had it down too far. Revelation chapter 20, and we're going to read verses 4 through 6. And we're talking about the resurrection. Listen to the book. What did it say?
And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yeshua, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hand. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach, or Christ, 1,000 years.
Go ahead and read.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
This first resurrection is not only but the first fruit from the dead, right?
That's right, brother.
Because he said Christ was the first fruit from the dead, right? And
That's
those
right.
after him, if they're what? In their order, right?
That's
Go ahead
right,
and read.
Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection.
Why?
On the second death, on such the second death have no power. But they shall be priests of Yah and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
All right, let's go into First Thessalonians chapter 4. A few verses in there. We almost done, y'all. Y'all hang there.
Take your time, brother.
Y'all hang in there.
We going what group?
That's why we had to put the food downstairs, keep y'all from smelling it, and myself, because I sure be cutting some of these scripts. I be like, look, man, we got to cut a few of these scripts, brother, because them eats sure smelling good. First Thessalonians chapter 4. We're gonna read verses 13 through 17. Now now we know that Christ is the first fruit of the dead, right? And those after him in their order, right? These who died in Christ, Hamashiach, in Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach. They ain't talking about nobody else. Everybody think they're gonna die in his name, but they ain't died in his name.
Nope.
Go ahead and read, brother. This is what we reading about.
But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep.
We talking about dead in the grave, right? Go ahead.
That ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope.
Now, that's what I just said. Everybody ain't fell asleep in Yeshua's name.
Your name.
But go ahead and read.
For if we believe that Yeshua died and rose again, even so them which sleep in Yeshua will Yah bring with him.
He said gonna do what?
He will bring with him.
Now, this Paul talking to the church at Thessalonica, right? We're gonna see is Yeshua telling the truth. Go ahead and read, brother.
For this I say unto you, by the word of Yah, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Master shall not prevent them which are asleep.
Go ahead.
For Yahweh himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of Yah, and the dead in Christ, and the dead in Hamashiach, those who died with the testimony shall rise first.
Now we talk about the first fruits after Christ, right? We know Christ is our first fruit from the dead. Now those who follow him coming right after. Go ahead and read.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Master in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Master.
Now they'll read this at the funeral and say, see, he to go home with the Lord, or she to go home with the Lord. Let's go see. Now, are they just suspended in the air on a cloud? And then they go up to heaven. Let's go to Zechariah and find out where's he taking them, right?
All right, bro.
I keep telling you, now we're going to start getting into the end gathering because he dealt with the Pentecost, right? Now I got to deal in with the end gathering. I keep telling y'all, these feasts are good to fellowship and rejoice and all that. There also going to be some mourning going on too. We're going to get into that. I know I don't do a lot of head busting lessons, but we're going to bust some head. Messiah going to bust some head. Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 14.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to read verses 14. Oh, man. Woo. I didn't want to get up because I don't want to scare the people. 14. No, verses 1 through 5. What the book say?
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoils shall be divided in the midst of thee.
Hey, I remember we were going to Sunday school, and this, the first so-called first lady, which I can't read in the book. She always get up there and say, ooh, I'd be glad when the Lord come and all that.
Might not.
Let's read about the coming of the Lord, right? Go ahead and read.
For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
Hey, don't you know this happened in 70 AD? And it's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But we know for sure all the nations came up Jerusalem to battle.
Yep.
It wasn't just Roman and Titus and all of them. He had a whole lot of them. If you really get into the history, we're going to show it to you. Some of y'all may know, some of you may not know. But it was a whole lot of other folks around Jerusalem in 70 AD. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle.
When he fought in the day of battle, when he took down Egypt, he got to do it. All he got to do is sit in heaven. Just man, he can look. If he want to take everybody off this earth, all he got to do is call the beast of the field and all this stuff. You're gonna see stuff that you never seen before. That's in the book.
Yep.
But go ahead and read.
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall be removed toward the north, and half toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azar. Yea, ye shall flee, like as ye flee before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah.
Yeah.
And Yahweh my power shall come, and all the saints with thee.
Oh, now where you get the saints from?
That First Thessalonians
We just read that the dead gonna rise up out of the ground, right? Those who died in Christ. We read that he's gonna send a shout of an angel on the seventh trump. That's why we do memorial trumpets. The dead gonna meet him in the air, and those who gonna remain on the earth gonna meet him up there, and he gonna take them right over to Jerusalem to do what?
Fight.
He gonna fight against. That's with the army. He gonna bring an army with him, and he gonna bring all the saints on the earth. This is book we read. Let's get some more confirmation. Let's go into Revelation 14. We got 4 more after this. Revelation chapter 14. Like my brother got to, I'm gonna play it when we get through at the end of this lesson. He ain't come back kissing the hug, man.
No. Ain't no politicking going on.
We're gonna read verses 14 through 20. 14 through 20. When you get it, my brother. Now, this the reapers now. Now it's time for the reapers to reap the harvest.
That's right, bro.
Because we talking about end time, right? He said, okay, the first fruit is the beginning of the harvest. Somebody got to sow the seed, right? Something got to grow.
Somebody got to sink that sickle in there.
Somebody got to go take the sickle and take that sickle and cut it down. Now they got these big tractors go through there and do all their work now, right? Let's look at the reapers. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 14.
What did it say?
And I looked, and behold, a white cloud. And upon the cloud, one set like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle.
That don't sound too good, do it? But go ahead and read, brother.
And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
Yes, sir. So they seeing the cup is full, and it's time to reap the harvest, right? But go ahead and read.
And he that sat on the cloud thrust in the sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, and he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had the power over fire, and cried with a loud voice, crying to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe.
Oh boy, it's time for recompense. It's just like he did down in Egypt. Pharaoh to Moses, go tell Pharaoh, let my people go so they can come and serve. But the whole thing about it is, Pharaoh could have let him go. But the Most High don't want you to let him go. I want to hard your heart because I want to bust your head. 430 years you've been mistreating my people.
That's right, brother.
You got to pay for this. So all these nations that he gonna come down to battle, y'all done did the children of Israel to the four corners of the earth so bad that nowhere in the world you're gonna get out of it.
You ain't getting out of it.
I don't care. You can pray. He don't want your money. He don't want nothing. He wants you to keep your mouth closed and take this sickle. We're going to read that. Go ahead and read, brother.
We at verse 19.
Go ahead.
And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine out of the earth and cast it into a great winepress of the wrath of Yah.
Yes, sir.
And the winepress was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the winepress, even to the horse's bridle by the space of 1,600 furlongs.
Oh, that's a lot of blood right there, the brother.
200 miles to the top of the horse's mouth. 200 miles. It's gonna be a lot of blood. Gonna be a lot of killing. So I don't know where they got this night. Yeshua, Jesus coming back on love and rapture everybody off to heaven. He gonna do a whole lot of killing. 7 months they gonna be burying bodies, and they still ain't gonna be enough to bury all of them. He gonna do a whole lot of killing. Somebody got to pay what they weigh in this thing for what they done to Israel. Now,
that's why we say go back and learn from Egypt. He always telling you go back what I did to Egypt. That was light work. Let's go to Isaiah 6, the 3rd chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 more after this. Isaiah chapter 63, and we're going to read verses 1 through 6. Yes, sir. Y'all's vengeance on the nations. He said he's going to call them up, ain't he?
All praise.
You know, all the military, they want to walk around and, you know, the bad military.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. You got military day and all that other stuff. And come and join, you know, be all you can be and all that other food.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm looking at some folks going to die.
Yeah.
They want to, they had a picture. These are some of the most dangerous jokers. They had snipers, you know, the military.
Mm-hmm.
They so secretive that, you know, they don't have no identity and all that.
Right.
But most I know every last one of you something.
Sure do.
As a matter of fact, he's going to have to take down. He's going to take the government down.
Always.
We got to take down first. The military, police.
That's it, bro.
Well, he's going to get the beast and false prophet first, and then he's going to deal with the mother clown. We reading it right here. Go ahead and read, brother. Vengeance.
This is Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. We're going to start at the verse 1. Is that right, my brother?
Yes, sir.
Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bowls Rock? That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. Either speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treaded the wine back?
Now, hold on for a minute. This is Yeshua coming out of heaven with the sickle in his hand, right? He came out there with his garments, his linen was clean and white, right?
Yes, sir.
Now it's red. Yeah, that's where they get that Santa Claus crap from. Y'all see it? Yeah. Go ahead and read, brother. I just want to say, because you said, man, you're going to come back and recompense those. You're going to reward those good and reward them evil, ain't it?
That's it, bro.
And then they said Santa Claus will come and,
good.
you know they're nice.
Yeah, night at night.
Can't get up. See, I told these folks vain and folly. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Hold
on a minute. I thought Yeshua don't get angry. You know, he quick. He slow to anger. He said it was written in his heart, ain't it?
It's written in his mind.
So it sounds like he get a little angry, ain't it? It sounds like he's being too kind right here. But go ahead and finish it out, brother. What verse?
We at verse 5.
Go ahead.
And I looked, and there was none to help. And I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore, mine own arm brought salvation unto me. And my fury, it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger. And I will make them drunk in my fury. I will bring down their strength to the earth. Now, let's go into Joel. No. This is what he said he's going to do to this earth, right? Now, let's go on the day of Pentecost. This is the last, we got last three going to deal with this Pentecost, but it's going to come back to this right here. Let's go into Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2.
Acts chapter 2, because they said this, they'll tell you, well, this is where the church started. Well, the church started in the wilderness. I don't know, he came and rebooted, spiritually speaking. If the church started in Acts, the so-called New Testament church, or whatever they call it, why aren't y'all teaching the people what we just read? Acts chapter 2, 1 through 20, what did it say?
And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place.
Yes, sir.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, from the Shamayim, as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues as a fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit, the Ruach, gave them utterance. This
the same Spirit that went down in the tower where they were dealing with the Tower of Babel. This is the same Spirit that went down there and confounded all them languages.
That's right.
Also, you go read Isaiah the 28th chapter. He said, with what? A stabbing the lip.
That's right.
And another tongue. I'm going to speak to this people.
That's right.
Listen to the book.
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
And there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, Yahudim, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Now we can understand. He said, with a stabbing lip and another tongue, I'm going to speak to my people, because our people still scattered in. They spoke all different languages. Everybody didn't speak Hebrew. They was all on different languages. Why? Because he confounded the language. They the one created every language on this earth is spoken. They created.
That's it, bro.
So I can't say somebody got a bastard language, because I'm talking about the creation. I'm learning to, like my brother did a lesson, I'm learning to control this mouth, because I get to listen to other brothers and stuff who's very militant in this thing. And we always want to blame all other nations instead of looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, we screwed up. That's right. But go ahead and read.
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Oh, we got different languages there at Pentecost. Go ahead.
Right. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia.
Now y'all go look at all of these different areas. This was Paul and his men. They was going down through and teaching these people. But go ahead and read.
Phrygia and Pamphylia, and Mitzrayim, Egypt, and in parts of Libya and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews, Yahudim, and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians. Do we hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of Yah? And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, what meaneth this? Others mocking said, these men are full of new wine. Boy,
that was Israel, because they always mocking somebody and he hard, and I ain't gonna say the other word. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 14. But Kepha, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them,
what did he say?
Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell in Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my word. For these are not drunken as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third hour of the day.
Yes, sir.
But it is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yah, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
Now, when we read that, because they will tell you, well, he gonna pour his spirit out on the Gentiles and everybody. See, the other nations still trying to inject themselves into our heritage, right? But we're gonna find out. He said we spoke about it in Matthew Joel, right?
That's right.
We're gonna go over there and look at it and see exactly who he was talking to.
That's right.
But go ahead and read it, brother.
Verse 18. And on my servants and my handmaids will I pour out in those days of my spirit, the Ruach, and they shall prophesy. And I will show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and the vapor of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun shall be turned into darkness,
Yes, sir.
and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of Yahweh come.
Now, we know that He's going to pour His Spirit out on His people. They're going to get out there. They're going to get this work like we always say.
Yes, sir.
He said, your sons and your daughters, even though sisters going to be out there.
Gonna be
Yeah.
out there, man.
They're going to be prophesying to other sisters and stuff. They might have to come across a few brothers. But let's go to Joel, 2nd chapter. One more after this. I don't know how you're going to do this thing. All I know is they're going to be prophesying. But we just read that, right?
Just read it, bro.
Joel chapter 2. And we're going to read verses 1 just to confirm who he's talking to, because I heard the Israelite, you know, he's going to pull this on all flesh. So everybody going to get this thing. Okay.
They always trying to include everybody. I can't read the all-inclusive God. I ain't read that in this book.
Joel chapter 2. We're going to read verse 1 and we're going to skip down 28 through 32.
You said read 1 through just all.
Yeah, just that one.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
He told you to blow the trumpet in Zion.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in Zion.
No,
Talking about his people.
that's right.
Hear this. Let's skip down to verse 28. I just wanted to confirm that, bro.
All right.
Because I heard the elder say that. I'm like, dude, you're tripping. But anyway, go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass afterward
Mm-hmm.
that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
Uh-huh.
And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and your young men shall see visions.
So that's what he was talking about over here in the Acts we just read, right?
That's right.
But you had to go and read the whole chapter 2 at Joel in the beginning to find out who he was talking to. The same people that showed up at the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2.
Mhm.
Wasn't no other nations there
That's
but
right.
Israelites.
That's
Every
right.
last one of them nations, and that's why we said he put over there in Isaiah 28 chapter, with a stammering lip and another tongue, I'm going to speak to this people.
To this people.
But at the end of the day, they still ain't going to do what I tell them to do. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 29.
Go ahead.
And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Yes, sir.
And I will show wonders in heaven and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Then shall the sun be turned into darkness and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come.
Now we seeing a lot of Israelites, brothers and sisters, waking up. And it's not a great awakening going
Yes,
on,
sir.
not only just in America, we talking about four corners of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the nations are scared.
Real scary.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and read.
Verse 32.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahweh shall be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
For in the Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Most High has said, and the remnant of whom Yahweh shall call.
He's going to call the remnant. That's who's going to end up making this thing. Last place, let's go into chapter 3. And we're going to read chapter 3 in its entirety. And that's going to end this lesson. Chapter 3. Go ahead and read it.
For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah
Mhm.
and Jerusalem.
Hey, them the two houses. Remember they split? The house of Judah and the house of Israel, also known as house of who?
Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people, and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Uh-oh. Now it's time to put the
Time to pay what you
sickle.
wait. It's time to pay what you wait now. Ain't no running, ain't no hiding.
Now,
Somebody finna get their top shit.
now this right here, what we reading, we just read when he went over in Zechariah, right?
That's
When
right.
he gonna come back.
Mhm.
This was going down. That's why he gathered his army from heaven and earth, right?
Mhm.
This was going. Go ahead and read it, brother.
Verse 3.
Go ahead and read it.
And they have cast lots of my people and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
Oh, so these heathen nations thinking that he forgot that.
No,
he calling them out right here.
Right here.
I remember you. It might have been 400-500 years ago, but I remember what you
Yes,
did.
sir.
Go ahead and read.
Yeah. And what have you to do with me, old Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense?
Mm-hmm.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense on your own head?
He's talking about you, Esau. Go ahead.
That's it. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Because every time the heathen go ransack the temple, the first thing they're going to hit is the money.
That's it.
Where's the money?
That's right.
You know how they know where to find the money? Because they got to sell out Negro amongst them, telling
All
them
the
where
time.
the money is.
All the time.
But go ahead and read.
Verse 6.
Hey, I'm going to say this here. Why y'all be saying that, brothers? Go and read the writings of Josephus. It's in the book. They said, if you want to keep information from Negroes, all you got to do hide in the book. They ain't had no book from us. We finding them. We going to read them. If it's some garbage, we'll throw it to the side and keep it moving. Right, brother?
That's it, bro.
Go ahead and read it.
The children also of Yehuda
Uh-huh.
and the children of Jerusalem
Mm-hmm.
have they sold to the Grecians, the Macedonians,
Yeah.
Antiochus,
Mm-hmm.
that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to ask a question, brother.
Go ahead.
What can you read in documented history of people that were sold in bulk other than us? So now, once again, we know who he's talking to and talking about. And will return your recompense on your own head.
Just like he did Pharaoh. But go ahead and read.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Yehuda. And they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off. For Yahweh has spoken it.
So he spin this whole thing around. I'm putting it back on y'all. And see how you like it. Go ahead.
Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war and wake up the mighty men.
Mm-hmm.
Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up.
Man, you can bring your Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine,
Bring all
M6, all your little secret society, your police officer, your little
guns
sheriff
that shoot 100
deputy.
bullets a minute.
Man, you can bring everybody. Even the little weak country, you're probably about 200 of it. Y'all come up too.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
Yes, sir.
Come, get you down, for the press is full. The vats overflow.
Mm-hmm.
For their wickedness is great.
Yes, sir.
Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near, the valley of decision.
Mm-hmm.
The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shine. For the Lord also shall roar out of Zion.
Yes, sir.
And utter his voice from Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people.
Yes, sir.
But Yahweh will be the hope of his people.
Mm-hmm.
And the strength of the children of Israel.
Hey, we read that over there, First Thessalonians, right?
Yes, sir.
But go ahead and read.
So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger, no heathen, no other nation pass through her anymore.
That's right.
And it shall come in that day. It shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Yehuda shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
And shall water the valley of Shittim.
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, Mizraim shall be a desolation. America shall be a desolation.
Yeah.
France shall be a desolation.
Yeah.
Europe shall be a desolation.
Yes, sir.
And Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And Israelites, Khazars, Idumea, you Edomites, shall be a desolation, a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Yehudah.
Boy, you look here. Our land is desolate right now because we in captivity. Your land gonna be desolate while you in captivity forever. Go ahead and read it, brother.
Because they have shed innocent blood of their land.
Mm-hmm.
But Yehudah shall but Yehudah shall dwell forever.
Yes, sir.
And Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood. I have not cleansed, for Yahweh dwelleth in Zion.
And that's a lesson, my brother. Good reading right there. All praise to God.
Okay, hey, how many minutes y'all need? All right, y'all, what we gonna do, we gonna, after we read and close out, we gonna let these brothers and the sisters, we need about 15, 20 minutes to reset up so we can get the food out, and then we gonna let y'all come in, and feast a little bit. But right now, I'm turning over back over to my brother.
Okay. Again, I want to thank, I also want to get some understanding of Yeshua's name. And that's all about Pentecost. When we deal with these feast days, it's telling the whole story. Okay. Right. We just gave y'all just a snippet of what's going to go on about these feast days. Okay. We don't have anything else, but we're going to go ahead and close on that. Oh, yeah. After, what time we going to do the land thing?
After we get everybody get food, get the weed,
right.
Go to the land. Okay.
We got buses out here. We're going to go over to the land and visit over there just to show y'all some of the things that the Most High blessed us with and some of the things we're working on in the near future. Hallelujah. Yeah, and tomorrow we're going to start the feast off at 12 noon. So be here at 12 noon, I think from 12 to 6. And we're going to feast before our Elohim.
That's right.
Okay. With that being said, we can go ahead and stand and close out. All right.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So Yah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah. Praise. All right, family, give us about 15, 20 minutes.
What's up? All right, family. Peace and blessings.
All praise. All praise.
The King coming.
A lot of people got the Messiah, the Master coming back as this guy who's going to love everybody and rapture everybody off to heaven. That's not true. That's not the teaching of the Bible. The Bible says, that he does judge and make real.
All praises to the Father and His Son, the creator of the universe. Yeah, the giver of the laws and commandments, crucified for the sins of the whole earth. But y'all don't pay him no mind, y'all don't pay him no homage. I ain't tripping on him, y'all don't love him. Y'all too busy worshiping other guys, Christmas, Easter, Valentine. Yeah, y'all love sin. And these taxes ain't no help, they done closed up the doors to the kingdom. Matthew 23 and 13, tell me y'all some hypocrites, y'all ain't even getting in the kingdom. And that's real. I've been walking with the word, trying to get to know the word. Another word, I've been reading script. I have come to find out it's a different story when you understand the manuscript. It is false doctrines, all lies. Like going to heaven when we die. What else? like eating catfish and pork rinds. That's abomination in the Lord's eyes. You gotta unlearn and relearn everything that you did learn about the Most High God of these scriptures, and you better do it before he return. Cause he ain't coming back to shake hands, nah, kissing and hugging. No, he coming back to set the record straight. Come on, he coming back to pass judgment. Yeah, cause he ain't coming back to shake hands. He ain't kissing and hugging. No, he coming back to clear the controversy. He coming back to pass judgment. 7 trumpets, 7 vows. Right after Jacob see his trouble, it's coming. He said the whole world gon' bow. Whether you hate him or you love him, it's coming. Got a war, you ain't keeping his commandments, you gon' perish when he come back with his army and the sword. Judgment has been handed down to him from the Father, and the title has been given Lord of all lords. You've been worshiping in vain though, cause you don't really know him like you claim so. At the day of judgment, he gon' tell you he don't know you either. And to the liquor fires, where you gon' go? All you heathens and you Edomites. Yeah, Babylon gon' die that night. Talk a takeover, full overthrow. The man of sin, he gon' burn slow. What you know about blood up to the horse's bridle? He gon' call all the fowls of the earth to come feast on the dead bodies, laying every word. You can read it, you been sinning, you ain't gon' be spared. I've been reading, you should get prepared. Yeah, I've been reading, baby, you should be scared. If you thinking the Messiah is a white boy with blue eyes and blonde hair, that's deception at its highest. He gon' judge you with the highest when you kick against the laws and the commandments. That's the covenant, I'm standing on it. 10 toes down, and no use in playing on it. You gotta unlearn and relearn everything that you did learn about the Most High God of these scriptures, and you better do it before he return. Cause he ain't coming back to shake hands, nah, kiss